In a world where few things are permanent, building something, scratch that, building anything is of utmost importance. You see, creating is not just a process, it is a lifeline. Every idea holds the potential of a rebirth of sorts, a ticket to potentially creating something more than temporary. Ideas come and they go. Throughout history, an unimaginable number of ideas have come and left the minds of a nearly equally unimaginable number of people. And in the vast majority of cases, these ideas have remained just that. An intangible set of thoughts that have vanished as soon as it's appeared. The differentiator here lies in the action that follows an idea. The act of taking an intangible thought is not merely a task to be completed, but rather an act of defiance against the transient nature of life. Each creation that comes out of us is a rebellion of time, a statement that even in our impermanence we can leave behind something eternal. Every creation is a tiny fragment of ourselves. Fragments that are left behind, ultimately outliving us, its creator, in both the physical and the metaphysical reality. It does not matter if your audience is 1 or 1 million. What matters is that we have dared to express ourselves and create something as authentic that only we can create. So create fiercely, create unapologetically, create boldly, and create beautifully, because in doing so, you defy not only time, but you defy fear, doubt, and the most profound uncertainty. You affirm, in the rawest sense, the power of being human, that we can transcend our temporary forms through the magic of what we make. The past, the future, and the present belongs to those who create. Now, that was actually a journal entry that I made quite some time ago. And I thought it was highly relevant to start this first video on this new channel with this thought. So if you've been following me on Instagram, I think I wrote this in my journal in like January of this year, and it's now October. And it's just become super relevant to me because it's made it apparent that my love for creating and my love for sharing stuff does not have to do with reaching an audience, as you can probably tell by the subscriber count of this channel, but rather I find that in creating something, it is the only thing that actually means leaving something behind us. So everything that we do, even life itself, is temporary. As they say, there's only 3 things that you can escape in, or there's 2 things you can't escape in life: death and taxes. And once we go, it's only 1 or 2 generations until our name is forgotten. But by creating something, whether that be videos, whether that be art, whether that be mobile apps in my case, it means leaving something behind, something that will have some level of permanence that it otherwise wouldn't. And this is kind of what I've found to be my motivator and what I've kind of used to pull myself through all of this time, where I've created stuff that hasn't really been consumed by anyone. I've created stuff that hasn't really been bought by anyone. And I've just gone through a lot of times, a lot of time in general of just creating and just doing, because I've had this external motivator that isn't money, that isn't fame, that isn't success in any of those regards, but rather it's creating something permanent. And it kind of took me a couple of years to put words to that, which now I've managed to do to some degree. But this is really how I think about it when I make apps, when I make YouTube videos, when I build businesses, etc. So I'm going to take you along in this video, and I'm going to share a little bit about the things that I do, about the apps, about the YouTube videos, as you've probably seen, my process, and just all of the stuff that I do. Might be interesting, might not be, but anyway, here I am documenting it. This is probably one of the more compact offices or home offices out there. As you can see, it's where I pretty much do everything. This is where I have my stuff, where I record videos, where my cat usually sleeps, where I have my whole setup. So if you take a look here, you see we have the whole computer setup, we got some shelves up there, etc. It's where I do most of my creating, even though some of it happens outside of here. But one of the things I like to create are mobile apps, and particularly this niche that I've started creating mobile apps for now are very meaningful to me, and twofold. But the primary meaning is that, like I talked about, anything that you create is gonna be there permanently. And the mobile apps that I'm making now, the educational types. So I have a couple of mobile apps where I make flashcards for professional industries. So for example, one of them is the the National Pesticide Applicator exam. And it looks like this, kind of, where you can do flashcards for different topics here of this exam. And once you do that, you practice for this exam, and it helps you pass this as you go on with your career. So even though this is like just an intangible idea that becomes something in code, and that's what's so special about code to me, in that you have an idea, you put down a couple of lines, a couple of letters, language essentially, and then it becomes something. And then you can create something like this, where someone who's studying for this exam can practice these flashcards. And if they end up passing this, and when they study with this, that is something that becomes permanent to them. That's gonna improve, and it's gonna stick with their career for the rest of their lives, even though it's a pretty small step along the way. But it's just, when you think about it like that and approach these projects and approach these types of things like that, it just brings so much more meaning than it otherwise would. So that's something that I've really found meaning from. One, both creating apps that are kind of sticking with people throughout their lives, but two, also the fact that code is one of those pure thing, in that you take something untangible and you write down lines of code that are in and by themselves also untangible, but then it becomes an actual physical product that you can download on a device and actually use in your real life for your use case. So that's pretty cool. Currently, I'm over here working on an app for quitting nicotine pouches. As you can see, I'm pretty close to launching this. Over here, I'm analyzing some onboarding flows. So if you're interested in app onboardings, check out the link down below, where you can find my whole analysis on a bunch of different leading mobile apps and the onboarding that they use to make them so successful. But that's one of the things that I like to create, and one of those things that I find meaning from creating. In addition to YouTube videos, in addition to writing, coding. It's a lot of fun. If you want to get started coding, I have some stuff down below that can help you build mobile apps really fast, so definitely check that out. But another thing that I like to do, and I kind of find meaning from, is building products. So tomorrow, today's a Sunday, on Monday, we're actually going into the warehouse of the office, where I'm going to be showing you a little bit about the products and the stuff that I'm selling and developing, which to me, it's also a way of creating. So I'm probably doing too much, and I'm probably working on too many things to really focus on one. I wouldn't recommend doing this for everyone and doing this for that long, but I just have this curiosity that I want to try this different stuff, and I want to experience this different stuff, and that's why I've taken on so much. You don't really need to do this, and it won't be sustainable for me to do this forever, but at the moment I find a lot of joy and I find a lot of meaning in pursuing this. But with that being said, let's head over to Monday, and I'll show you the stuff that I'm referring to there. So this place that we're in right now is called Arboristbutiken. It is a store that I run. It's an e-commerce. It sells gear for arborists. It's stuff such as ropes, carabiners, all the type of stuff that you've seen throughout this B-roll before you see this. And this is one of the main things that I spend my time on. And it doesn't fulfill the creating stuff to the same degree as all of my other ventures, but it is still something of doing something and building a brand that's gonna maybe outlast you, maybe not, but it's creating to some degree. And all of the things that are happening in here are things that go to me, and that come back to me in that I create them. If we do a email send out, I create it. If we do an Instagram post, I create it. So that's one of those things. But another thing that really tickles my creative itch, and here's the thing: if you have an idea and if you want to make something, make it. The world isn't gonna wait for you. If you wanna make it, someone else probably wants to make it, and if you don't do it, someone else is gonna do it. And stop overthinking all this fucking stuff of, oh, what if I fail if I do this, or what if it doesn't work out, or I don't have this that's the right stuff, or I'm missing this, or I don't have this personality trait. Just fucking do it. You're making excuses. If you have an idea, do whatever you have to do in order to make that idea happen. One of those things for me is these bags. So these bags are called the Palmew bags. As you can see, they kind of match my surname, Palmgren, and I'm actually the inventor and the creator of this rope bag. It's an idea that I had around a year and a half ago, and I just made it happen. It's so much simpler than you actually think that it may be. reach out to suppliers on Alibaba, get some samples, do product development, and after that you have a product you can start selling. And then after that you just have to make it go. But this is something that was nothing. It was absolutely nothing. From an idea into an actual brand that's now in 17 different retail stores all over the world, from Florida to Texas to Canada to New Zealand to France to Germany, Sweden, Finland, Denmark. It's all over, and it's amazing because it's kind of one of these things like that passage that I read in the beginning of this video. It's taking nothing and making something out of it, rather. It's defiance of time in and of itself, because this is something that's been created, that's been touched by people, that's been used by people, and in that way, with that experience that all these other people had, it's going to outlive yourself to some degree. Maybe not as much as these videos that you upload and they're going to be there forever, but to some degree, it's just doing something. So that's fun. We also have a couple of different other products. We have different colors, etc. But it's stuff like that that I've really started doing in the last couple of years. Stuff that where I have an idea and I'm like, okay, let's turn this into something. It's YouTube, it's mobile apps, it's this type of store, building a brand, it's e-commerce products like that Palmy rope bag that you just said. In here that you also saw during the B-roll, I have a small 3D print farm. So this is stuff where I 3D print random different products. For example, this was just merely an idea as well. I just received an order for 3,000 of these. And I don't make any money from that. It's just because it's fun. It's from creating something, taking something and making more out of it. Or taking nothing even sometimes and making something out of it. It's what you'll find fulfilling. If you're not creating anything in life, someone else will. And there's this old proverb, Japanese proverb, the man who chases two rabbits catches neither. And to some degree that is probably true, and I'm aware that I'm going to need to narrow this down kind of as I go if I want to achieve a greater level of success with any of this stuff. But for now it's fun, for now it's working, for now I find enjoyment in doing all this, so that's kind of what we're doing. But if there's anything that you take away with you from this video, it is that creating is absolutely necessary to find meaning in life. At least that's my opinion. Alright, we're back home. Nice background here with the vacuum cleaners, but as you may have seen, I've gone here and I've picked up a package in that box that you saw in that little transition clip. And what the first one is something quite interesting. So this is actually I'm going to start running some TikTok ads, and since my apps are aimed at the US, I need to set up an American TikTok account. And to do that, I need to make it seem to TikTok as if I'm located inside of the US. So what we have here is actually an American SIM card. And that SIM card is going to be used to make it seem like we're inside of the US when we set up this account. Next up is actually a microphone for this camera. A vlogging microphone. So hopefully we can make the sound a little better. Actually, let's get this on and try it out. Alright, how's that for sound? Hopefully we should be doing better now. We're actually gonna hop into the office and we're gonna work a little bit on some onboarding stuff, so let's hop in there. So, classic move. I bought a microphone, mounted it, put the camera up there for some sick angles, and poof, I ruined it. It is what it is though. The sound will be a little bit wonky for this one. I just ordered a new spare screw for this little thing here at the bottom so we can fix it. But this one I'm working on now is an onboarding for this app that I have called ISA Flashcards. This is my main app, and if I can get more people to subscribe just by adding a good onboarding, that will be really positive. So we start off with this, which is some like social proof. We have some stuff that makes the user feel as if they're giving more input to the app than they actually are. I'm not using this in any way really. We're doing some more social proof. We are doing some product demo. We can see the ARB AI in action, for example. We then get some instructions on how to use it. We're then told about mock exams. We're asked about what other stuff we're using. We're then asked to review the app inside of the onboarding, which is a new kind of common way to do things. Just testing that out a little bit, see how it works, and then we're done with the onboarding. So that's what I've been working on tonight and what I just managed to finish. It's it's going to be interesting to see. We're going to push this to the App Store now. We're going to see if this improves my monetization rate at all. I've studied onboarding a lot. Like, I'm going to leave some links down below to some of the onboarding videos and stuff that I've made. It's fascinating how much you can improve your conversion rate by having a good onboarding, and I haven't really had a good onboarding like this before, where I'm doing social proof, where I'm talking about like what kind of like statistics and numbers, etc. People tend to like that, and also where I'm demoing the product inside of the onboarding. So really good to have that going. We're gonna see if we can get some monetization rates going up. But that's gonna be it for today's video. This is the first video on this channel. I've actually had another YouTube channel. If you search for Herman Palmtree, you can see all of my other videos, but I decided it was time to start fresh, do this a little bit more storytelling style, even though I'm still building in public, always have been, always will be. Don't say always, but that's the goal at least. And I thought it was interesting to just document and talk a little bit about creating and how I view kind of creating stuff, regardless of what that stuff is, as being a path to a meaningful life. It is for me at least. I think it could be for you too, so feel free, or please do try it. Create whatever. It could be art, it could be painting, it could be videos, it could be podcasts, it could be writing. It can be literally anything. But creating is such a powerful thing in order to help you discover what your life was for and what you were put on this planet for. And I don't think there's any other way that's gonna be as self-improving as just taking nothing and turning it into something, an intangible idea that you take, and with action, with hard work, with dedication, with some persistence, you turn that into something so that it actually becomes something tangible. It's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. Definitely do give it a try. But if you like this type of content, then feel free to subscribe. It's completely free of charge, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.